Hello everyone, my name is Corey and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome and consider subscribing. It really helps support me in making similar content to this, so if you like it, pop a click on the subscribe button. Thank you, now on to the video. So I made a video back in April 2021 where I redesigned my favorite character from Minecraft Diaries, Garth Romave. And I had always intended on continuing that series, and yet I just didn't. I'm not too sure why. I probably just got busy and distracted until I suddenly remembered, oh yeah, I want to do this again. If you wanted, you can go back to my channel and find that first video, though keep in mind I was very awkward and the audio quality is not great. But I think the art still holds up, and so does the redesign, and it would give you a bit more context of things that I changed about Garth that I briefly talk about here. So I'm starting this hopefully series back up with Garth's younger brother Zane. If you're wondering what the heck I am talking about, Minecraft Diaries was a Minecraft roleplay I watched when I was a kid. My interests really haven't changed at all, huh? And it takes place in a fantasy land with fairies, gods, furries, and a whole lot of other things I can't remember off the top of my head. This series was a big hit, but then the creator made an alternate universe kind of show where the characters were all in this modern world, though a lot of the fantasy aspects remained. It became way more popular than Minecraft Diaries, so it became the main show, and Minecraft Diaries was discontinued, which is why I'm designing the characters in MyStreet specifically. Man, and there's a lot of armor that I don't want to draw. I want to set this clear right now. I do not recommend going back to watch the show and support Aphmau, the creator, as she is a not great person, to put it lightly, which is exactly why I wanted to do this series in the first place, because I grew up with this show and I feel a lot of nostalgia for the characters, so I want to make them my own and separate them from the original creator. Now, with that probably too much exposition out of the way, let's talk about the design. Zane is the main villain in Minecraft Diaries and the younger brother to one of the main protagonists, Garth, who, as I mentioned, I did a video on. He had the classic emo haircut covering one eye and something always covering his face, though to this day I cannot tell you what they were meant to be because it was a Minecraft skin. So, for my redesign, I wanted to keep him as the edgy younger brother to Garth, obviously. I gave him a face mask to emulate that, and I figured he might have some kind of facial dysmorphia, which is why he usually wears it. I could be wrong about that, but hey, this is my interpretation of the character and my own version, so whatever. He isn't a villain, but he's still an antagonist, which is something I feel like MyStreet really glossed over too soon. I'm all for redemptions, and this version of Zane definitely gets one, but I really disliked how softened and dumbed down Zane was in MyStreet. Kind of similar to what they did with Garth, though. I mean, maybe it's because Garth's just my favorite, but like it's not as extreme. But it was definitely a problem. Even if it was originally meant to be a more lighthearted version of Minecraft Diaries, making the main villain of the original story not at least a bit of an antagonist in the AU just felt off to me personally. Maybe I'm remembering wrong, it has been a while and I don't care to look back, so... he's a very closed off, quick-tempered, jealous, and probably has some kind of mental illness that I'm not properly equipped enough to diagnose. Him and Garth had a rough childhood together, with Garth being too non-confrontational to talk to Zane. Even if he did try, Zane would just ignore him. And that's in the context of my rewrite. Basically, I guess, like, this kind of meant to be a redesign of his fashion, but also just a redesign of his character in general. I want to have a story that focuses more on the relationship than what we got in the show. Between Zane and Garth, that is. I think it would mean a lot if Garth and Zane had separated shortly after they became adults, and then are forced to meet each other again by the time the show starts. This is kind of what happens in Minecraft Diaries, though obviously Zane isn't truly evil in this version. I don't think modern, more realistic kind of stories really need a villain rather than an antagonist. I think it would be more interesting if we got to see how rough they left everything. Maybe they had a big fight before the other left, and here they are now at whatever the story starts. Maybe Zane moves into an apartment on the same floor as Garth and they see each other again? I don't know. We could probably see Garth, who's now grown and matured a bit more, try and reach out to Zane again, but is met with the same opposition. I realize now I'm basically writing fanfiction, but whatever, I can do what I want. I imagine Garth will have some kind of breakthrough with Zane after a bit. Maybe they get into more fights along the way, and then Zane can go to actual therapy after a bit of encouragement. That's kind of the redemption and closure I want. I want Zane to be a troubled person who then seeks help for himself with the encouragement of an estranged brother and then gets better. Anyway, I should probably talk about the design more now, huh? I gave him a ponytail because I felt like it. Actually, I'm pretty sure that when I would draw him when I was like 12 or 13, I would draw him with a ponytail sometimes. Maybe that had some influence. I don't know. Anyway, I gave him a whole lot of black clothes, and then in some cases pops up this kind of like electric blue to match with his eyes. I just thought it would look cool and he'd go for something like that. I didn't want to just make him emo, but obviously still an obnoxious edgelord. I gave him a cross earring, which I'm pretty sure I also did when I would draw him years ago. But that's because he was a high priest in the original show, so I wanted to give him something to pay homage to that, like I did with Gareth and his necklace for the same reason. And I'm not quite sure how well it translates, but I did decide, fuck it, I'll give him snakebite piercings, because I can. And of course, I gave him his famous freckles that were revealed when he pulled down his mask in the show. Honestly, I'm not too sure how I feel about this outfit. It feels pretty plain, which could be a good thing, especially for his character. I don't think he would think that much about his appearance, but from a design alone, I'm not sure. It's at least an upgrade in his even more boring outfit he got in the first season, so at least there's that. I finished the main drawing and decided to do a few doodles of Zane and Garth and their story, just because I could. And that wraps it up. Let me know what you think and who I should do next. Thanks for watching.